In last session, we have seen the PWM programming, and now what we are going to do, we are going to see it's one of the application. So PWMs are used to control generally the servo motors. Okay, servo motors can rotate in specific angles. Okay, so there are types in that also. We are going to see that later on. Now, basically, servo motor is having three pins. The servo motor actually we are using during this practical is MG90S. Okay, it is mini servo motor with micro servo motor with the mechanical gears. Okay, now it is having three pins. One is red, that is for 5 volt ground, and orange is for PWM. So the VCC should be provided between 4.8 to 6 volts. So we are going to use 5 volt from our power supply. Now this motor can rotate 0 to 180 degrees. Okay. There are motors which can rotate 360 degree also. Now we have to understand for programming how the motor understand to which angle it has to rotate its shaft. Okay. So for that we are going to provide the PWM. So by according to the data sheet, it can understand signal of 50 hertz. It needs PWM signal of 50 hertz. Okay, if we calculate the time period according to that, it is 20 milliseconds. Okay, now how to control the angle of shaft in this motor? So there is a small description. So this is from the data sheet only. I'm not showing the data sheet because then data sheet much of the data is in the Chinese language. Okay, so it is tough to understand. Now here, if we provide on time of 1 milliseconds, in that case the motor will consider it as 0 degrees. Okay, and if you provide on time of 1.5 milliseconds, it is going to consider it as it has to rotate the shaft at 90 degrees also, sorry, 90 degrees. And if we provide on time of 2 milliseconds, it will consider that as 180 degree. Okay, now for this we have to do few calculations, and we are going to use the timer only. Now last time we have in PWM we have generated the PWM of 31 kilohertz, which is very much higher, and we have to reduce it to the 50 hertz. For this we have to do multiple calculations. Okay, so let's move on to the calculations. So the first formula we are going to use, just a second, let me show you. So first formula that we are going to use is FPWM is equal to your F timer, that is timer frequency, ARR, ARR, that is your auto reload resistor value plus 1. Okay, now here the PWM period, the PWM period is of 20 milliseconds. That will be equivalent to 2000 microseconds. So it is 20,000 microseconds. Okay. The maximum time, the maximum on time is around your 2 milliseconds. That is equivalent to 200 microseconds. So your ARR value is 2000. So your ARR plus 1 value should be equivalent to 2000. We have to enter actual value during the configuration for ARR. So this will be ARR will be equal to 1999. Now already we have the value of FPWM, that is equal to 50 hertz. So the equation will be like 50 equal to F timer divided by 2000. Okay, and then the value will become timer is equal to, this is your 100k. Actually it is equal to 100k. So here this is your f timer frequency that we have calculated from our PWM and the on time we are having. Okay, now what we have to do further, we have to do the calculation for the pre-scaler. Okay, we have to do the calculation for the pre-scaler. So the formula for that is, now we are having the f timer. F timer is equal to timer clock, that is main clock that we are going to receive from the internal oscillator, divided by PSC plus 1. Now here we have to calculate the value for PSC. Okay, so let's put other values. So this one is your 100k, and the timer clock will be 8 megahertz. Okay, that we are going to configure on our own, and your prescaler value plus 1. Okay, if we move these values a little bit, so we can write it as like this also. So 100 can be, k can be written as 2 raised to 5, and we are going to shift that 8 mega below it. So it will be 8 into 10 raised to 6. So 8 into 10 raised to 6. So it will be equal to 1 by your prescaler plus 1. Okay, so this will get converted into like 80 is equal to your prescaler plus 1. So value of your PSC is equal to 79. Okay, so we have did little bit of reverse calculations for it, because we were having the 50 hertz frequency. For that we have calculated, and we were having our max on timing. So according to that we have calculated our ARR. From ARR we have calculated our F timer frequency. From F timer we have calculated the prescaler value. So this is how you have to do the calculations for the PWM for servo. Okay, why we have used 50 hertz? Because it was mentioned in the data sheet only. So next session what we are going to do, we are going to put this value in our configuration.